Simon, one of your old chums, Steve Bruce, we remember Steve Bruce, reportedly keen on replacing Jurgen Klinsmann as manager of South Korea. He's been out of work since he was sacked by West Brom. Seems like an age ago now, and it was October 2022. Would you say, yeah, Steve, go for it? Is this the kind of guy that Steve is from your memory?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to him. He came and did a podcast with me before Christmas, or sort of the middle part of the November period, and he was in good fettle. He wants to get back into management. He misses it. I think he regrets the time at West Bromwich Albion, and it wasn't quite what he thought it was going to be, both from a performance point of view and what he was given. I'm very fond of him. I'm a big admirer of his, and people think that blights my perspective. I don't think he did a good job at West Bromwich Albion, and I'm quite capable of saying it.
Yeah.
And obviously he's watching his son, Alex, who I've known since he was a young boy, manage Macclesfield and make management look easy because he's doing very well there. So I wouldn't be surprised. And if he feels that, and Janet, his wife, is happy for him to go there, then I wouldn't be surprised if he did it. I know he wants to manage. I know he wants to continue managing and continue being involved in football because that's what he knows, that's what he loves, that's what he likes. And if this opportunity comes up, I wouldn't be surprised if he took it.
Well, I mean, you have to look at what's he getting into. Klinsmann was sacked by South Korea after a turbulent Asian Cup campaign. They crashed out to the minnows Jordan in the semi-finals. There were also reports of infighting in the camp. In you go, Steve, do your best.
Well, that's you don't often get jobs on the back of success, do you? You get jobs on the back of other people's failings. And so it's an international framework. It's not something he's done. It's another part of the world that you can look at in your life and say you've been to. Yeah. So with that in mind, the economics, if they work, why not? Why not? Despite people's protestations and people's sharp intakes of breath, I think some of the recovery of Aston Villa and the bit that Dean Smith inherited was based upon some of the brickbats that Bruce had to take, and then Dean Smith came on and made it better for Aston Villa to get back into the Premier League, obviously. And I think that he could go and do a job over there. If he wants to do it, why not?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Chris Hughton's just taken an international job recently with Ghana. As a way of getting back into football management, because that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, but it didn't last long.
It didn't last long, but that goes to a lot. If you ask Mick Beale what he thinks about football management, it didn't last long for him either, did it? At domestic level, it didn't last long for Patrick Vieira. It didn't last long for Frank de Boer. These are in life, you live life. Regret the things that you don't do rather than the things that you do.
Yeah. Yesterday, when we were on with Graham Souness, a very nice message came through, very complimentary about Graham.
Really?
Did
he send it to himself?
From the son of a player that Graham played against in the 1978, I think, in the final.
Of what, the European Cup?
A European Cup.
Yeah.
Liverpool played against Club Brugge. Liverpool won 1-0 at Wembley. And this was the son of a fellow, Jan Sorensen. And Jan Sorensen sadly died recently. He was a former manager at Walsall. He died at the age of 68, Danish striker. And this was Sorensen's son getting in touch with Graham yesterday. It is amazing how people get in touch and say, I've got a link to you because of my dad or my brother or my whoever. It constantly comes up in conversation, something like that.
Well, especially when you've got people that have performed at a very high level. I mean, Souness, for me, is one of the best players this country's ever produced. These Isles have produced, because obviously he's from Scotland.
Yeah.
And he played in a great side. Yeah. In a great side.
Yeah.
And Graham is a character, isn't he? And so people, and you're hearing him on the radio. I like Graham being here, and I think Graham has lots of things that are interesting to say. And of course, there's always this 7 degree of separation. You meet people all the time. I meet people all the time that somehow or another have some sort of association with someone either in my family or in my life.
Yeah. While you were handing back your deck chair yesterday on that Spanish beach,
indeed,
I ended up doing that podcast with Souness.
How was that?
It's coming out in a few days from now. And he said a few things.
Are you going to plug it now?
I'll give it a plug now, not least the fact that he goes down in history as a manager when he was at Liverpool who passed up on the opportunity of signing one Eric Cantona. And he talks about Cantona, talks about a variety of things, talks about his time at Rangers. You can look forward to that. We've called this edition White and Souness.
Did you?
Yeah, normally it's Souness and Jordan, I
think that's the way he would like it. Yeah, Souness and Simon, he would like it, but it's actually Simon and Souness.
Simon and Souness.
Because I allowed him to come on after we had the good grace to allow him to come skulking back in after he slunk out the door a year ago with his tail between his legs.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10. On AM, on DAB, via the TalkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. TalkSPORT.